The 2016 Farm Bureau Insurance Classic broadcasts are brought to you by CBA Sports, Founders Federal Credit Union, Farm Bureau Insurance, RSM Promotions, and FCA Camps.
All right, welcome to the FBI Classic, and we're starting out from long range. Boiling Springs starting out hot shooting. And here we go, back and forth. Austin Hagens, he'll come back and he'll hit too. I'm Sylvester Williams. We're here at the FBI Classic, here at the beautiful Dorman Arena, watching Boiling Springs take on Newton. Here we go in the open court. J.D. Note, the Jacksonville signee, he'll start off with two. Newton Rams taking on the Boiling Springs Bulldogs. Finding a man underneath. No good. Hard off the backboard, going the other way. Austin, he'll give it up to Isaiah Miller. Back to Austin. Isaiah puts it up. No good. Rebound coming down the other way. All right. Man, it started off fast, man. I'm trying to catch my breath, trying to figure out where I'm at, man. Here I am. I'm in Dorman. Okay, I'm in Dorman Arena. I'm here. As a matter of fact, I'm in the booth, and I'm joined by the MVP of the last game. The MVP of the last game, young man, goes by the name from Gaston Day School. Let me let you know he's from Gaston Day School. He goes by the name of Nate Hinton. Nate Hinton had 18 points and 11 rebounds. The big man had a double-double.
Yes, sir.
A double-double. How you doing today? You heard his voice in the background. You doing all right, Nate?
I'm doing good, yes, sir.
Nate's doing good. Nate out of Gaston Day School. He's a junior. Young man had a double-double. Man, you had an impressive game. You shot from the outside. You worked on the inside. That second and the third quarter, you were kind of in the zone finding yourself.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, about your game. Who do you kind of make yourself out after?
Actually, I feel like I'm custom made. I feel like I, try to grab a few from point guards because I'm, transitioning to a point guard at the next level. So I'm trying to, look at tall point guards such as Zach LaVine and, college level Lonzo Ball, and just seeing those guys and see how they flow in the game, and just trying to pick and choose, and not trying to model my game after them, but just trying to get little snippets of them, so create a masterpiece. Excuse me.
All right, I like that. Pick bits and pieces of people's games.
Yes, sir.
If you ever really want to develop your game after one of the premier 5'11" power forwards to ever play the game ever, look no further to your left. Sylvester Williams. You want to be a premier 5'11" power forward.
Oh, yes, sir.
And college level linebacker. That's on the basketball court. It's shoot first. That's the mentality.
Yes, sir.
That's what we like to do. It doesn't work too well with the team game.
Yeah.
That's Sylvester Williams.
Yes, sir.
Mentality. Now you're a junior. Mm-hmm. You're out there. You're starting to get those letters from the different colleges. You got people calling you.
Yes, yes, sir. All the time. East Carolina's been the most consistent, and Wake Forest as well. They've been contacting me. They haven't offered me, but they're just still in my interest. And I'm getting a lot of schools, a lot of letters, and like Clemson's contacting me a little bit. But right now I'm just trying to. I got 11 offers right now, but I'm just trying to get some more and just try to keep working on my game and not settle for anything. But I still considering the schools that I have, and just still trying to stay focused and keep elevating my game.
Three ball dropped down by Darvin Jones. Hate to cut you off. Darvin Jones won the three-point shooting contest last night. He just knocked down that three. Having a block party out there. That's what Newton is doing. Josh Took says get that one out of here. All right, so you got your few colleges coming after you, man. Good player, I guess you're hitting the books, right? You got everything done on that end. Okay,
yes,
I like to hear that. Now, I don't know too much about Gaston Day. I can't tell you a lot about Gaston Day. What's some of the famous alumni or some of the big name people to come out of Gaston?
I I honestly don't know. Brandon Rayleigh Ross, I believe his name is.
Okay.
He went overseas. Keyshawn Woods went there his beginning of his year, but then he transferred to Northside. But I really can't tell you any other people. But so that's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to make a name and put Gaston on the map.
Okay, so now the correct answer to that question, well, alley-oop from the back, and he missed it from the backside. The correct answer to that question is Nate Hinton.
Yes, sir.
Nate Hinton is the big-time alumni that come out of Gaston. They lay up good, and that is what Newton does. Newton press, and score. That's what Newton does. Easy transition buckets. Might want to scout these guys out. I don't know if you guys are going to meet up with Newton. Do you guys?
Yeah, we actually play them next game.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you're out here getting a little bit of information on the next game right here.
Just a little bit.
A little scouting going on.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, I know you play basketball. I'm pretty sure you guys do that 24/7, 365 days out of the year. Now, but what happens? What does Nate Hinton do when he has an off day and isn't the basketball anywhere around?
I'm really just chilling, try to hang out with friends, try to, take care of my body and kind of just, spend time with family because, I like my family. My family's real important to me, so just hanging out with friends and family.
That is very important, hang out with friends and family, take care of your body because, look, you're 16, 17 years old. You ain't going to be a stud forever.
Yeah.
Not everybody will be blessed to have the temple that I have for the rest of your life. But there you go. That's Nate Hinton right here. Nice backdoor pass right there. These guys, you think you're ready for that right there, man?
Oh, yeah. We put the work in all season. We still putting in work. So, it's going to be a good game. They like to play fast-paced. We like to play fast-paced. So, at the end of the day, you got to get the job done. So, that's what we came down here to do, go 3-0.
Go 3-0. I love that. What are your I know you guys play in the independent league in North Carolina. What's your prognosis for the year?
State championship.
State championship.
Yes, sir. We currently we're 9-2 now, but we haven't lost in the 2A in North Carolina. So, we just working hard every day and not taking no prisoners. So, we played Carmel with newly head coach Coach Dink. Who's at Northside. And we played Concord First Assembly. They're in our conference. We'll see them probably 3 more times.
Okay, we saw Carmel on the SUV network, SUVtv. Carmel has
Donovan. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, that's a high-flying youngster.
Oh, yes, sir.
He's the kid in the 10th grade, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he's a talented young kid.
He gives up, man. He gives up. When I first saw him, we were at the Holiday Hoops Giving. You can check that out online, all our listeners and viewers. You can check that out online on the SUV. Look at that in the open court. Oh, my goodness, Isaiah Miller. Isaiah Miller comes around and rocks the cradle and does the windmill and throws that thing down with a whole lot of authority. Let's look at this. We're going to look at the Dorman replay. Oh, assistant basketball coach replay. Oh, that's the assistant basketball coach replay of Isaiah Miller coming around and throwing that thing down. Whew, scary. Scary. Last time I saw something like that, I was watching an old video of me. My goodness. All right, I'm hanging out with Nate Hinton. Man, Nate, it's been a pleasure to sit up here and talk to you for a while. What we're going to do, I'm going to have to get off this mic, and I'm going to get back to calling this game.
All right.
But I'm going to go and set this up, and we're going to take a picture real quick of me and Nate Hinton so you can go ahead and frame it and put it on your Instagram and tell people you met Slider Sports Guy.
Yeah.
It'll make you feel good.
Yes, sir.
Make you feel kind of cool.
Yeah.
Here we go. Marcus, you'll snap this for me real quick. Right here, let me scoot back. There we go.
Yes, sir.
Well, Nate, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're back here live. Score 21-9. 21-9. Newton is running away with Bowling Springs. Newton's trying to make it look ugly. All right. Back door. Oh, my goodness. Isaiah Miller just comes out of nowhere to throw that one away. Way to follow it up. Desor. Kamal Desor. Kamal's a transfer. He transferred in from Dorman High School. JD gets blocked. They're going to go back the other way. Oh, got him with the foul. 21-11. 21-11. It doesn't look pretty for Bowling Springs, but they're going to claw their way back in this thing. Best way to do it is on the free throw line. Bam, knocks down the first one. Chance Guess knocks down that first free throw, and that'll roll around and fall in. Chance knocks down number 2. Oh, in the passing lane is Chance. Chance lays it in for 2. Sloppy cross-court pass. Boiling Springs closes it down. 6-point game. Isaiah, no good. Isaiah with follow, good. Armani Harris for 2. Chance, stop and pop. Lay in, he'll get fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Foul on number 10, Seth Hewitt from Bowling Springs. His first. 14th foul on the line, number 21, Armani Harris. And a game for Newton, number 3.
Armani, he'll get a trip around the world on that free throw. It'll go everywhere but in. Colby Rogers coming in the game. Armani knocks down field goal number 2, or free throw number 2. Still have that 2-1-2 press. Just taking time off the clock, not putting too much pressure on. Boiling Springs will have it. Boiling Springs will turn it over. Higgins will have it in the open court. Higgins pushing it up court. Higgins, Euro step. European travel. I'm 37 years old and I'm still not quite sure how that Euro step works. Out of bounds, we'll stay down here. It'll be Dorman ball. Not Dorman ball. It'll be Boiling Springs ball. Not quite sure why I said Dorman. Moving it on around. Ooh. Yeah, that's going to be a travel. Young man got up in the air and wasn't quite sure what to do with it. Isaiah Prysock. Nine-point game. 1 minute to go. JD for 3. Nice patience on that play. The Sewer for 2. Oh my goodness, they wanted to throw an alley hoop to Isaiah.
And again for number 15, Darvin Jones.
Darvin Jones coming in the game. Darvin Jones, 3-point shootout champion. Foul up underneath. Gonna go to the line and shoot.
Foul is on number 3, Colby Rogers, his first. Second team foul on the line for Bowling Springs. Number 21, Kamal Desor.
free throw line. First one. Release, rotation, rattle, splash. Josh Tukes coming in the game. It's the back of the rim, no good. Three ball, rattle around and fall on in. 6-point ball game, 6-point ball game. Boiling Spring. Three ball, no good. Rebound, fought for. And here we are at the end of the quarter. The score, 27-21, 27-21. Newton on top of Boiling Springs.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
The 2016 Farm Bureau Insurance Classic broadcast are brought to you by CBA Sports, Founders Federal Credit Union, Farm Bureau Insurance, RSM Promotions, and FCA Camps.
Welcome back to Dorman Arena. I'm Sylvester Williams, and we're here live on SUVtv as we're watching the Newton Rams taking on the Boiling Spring Bulldogs. Newton Rams there in 6A. 6A, 1,900 students go to Newton taking on Boiling Springs. No, Newton's 7A. Newton is 7A. That 2 points just counted for Boiling Springs. Back the other way, J.D. Notte. Newton is a 7A squad out of Covington, Georgia, taking on Boiling Springs. The Boiling Springs Bulldogs, they're 5A. 2,100 students, 2,100 kids going to the same place. Oh, my goodness. Isaiah Miller keeping going with those high-flying acrobatics. Ashton will have it. Nice look on the inside. Hard, easy too for J.D. Notte. J.D. making it look easy. J.D. is signed to play down in Jacksonville. He hadn't signed. He's committed to play in Jacksonville. He'll be a Dolphin next year. JD, he recently made it to the 1,000-point club. That's 1,000 points, JD. That's a lot of scoring. Looks like JD's leading the way right now in scoring. He has 13 by my unofficial scorebook. Sometimes I get distracted by the game. I start talking. Forget to write down who scores. But he has 13 by my unofficial scorebook. Who knows what he may officially have. Darvin jumps into the passing lane. Oh, JD couldn't flush that one down. JD missed out on the easy dunk. Oh, nice pass. They'll fight for it. Note will grab it. And we'll go back the other way. Ashton will have it. Ashton passes in the corner to Darvin. Back up top to Ashton. Tried to find Darvin in the back door. No roll. Isaiah turn it over. Boiling Springs will go the other way. Find Chance. Chance. Chance lays it in, and he's good. 8 points on the night for Chance. Yes. 6'2", 10th grader. Oh, in the passing lane. Ballin-Needy. The scoop shot doesn't go. Chance grabs the rebound. Jump ball. Zach Ballinelli. Zach Ballinelli. Oh, they're going to call charge on that one. Can't get away with that one. Oh, call the cops on that one. JD lays it. I'm sorry, Darvin. Darvin Jones lays it up for an easy two. None of the Newton crowd was happy with that easy two. Isaiah hops into the passing lane. JD, he'll go to the line and lay it and try to finish it out and get 2 points. But none of the Newton crowd was happy with that layup by Darvin Jones. He had Isaiah Miller trailing, and everybody wanted to see Isaiah go up and throw it down.
Just chiming in, Sly. I don't think there's anywhere around it, man. I mean, as a fan base, how do you not get spoiled with Isaiah Miller running all over the place?
I'm telling you, everybody wanted to see Isaiah Miller go up and finish that one. But oh well.
Then on top of that, it's not like Higgins and Note, can't do chin-ups on the rim themselves. So you just kind of expect the dunk if there's a certain amount of clearance on a fast break with Newton.
Can't get mad at Darvin Jones. He obviously went to the Sylvester Williams School of Basketball. Passes are unnecessary. Here he is, Darvin's running it. It'll go out of bounds, and it'll stay Newton ball. There will only be showtime when Sylvester is scoring. Pump fake in the corner, step back, looking for the contact. JD showing what a polished ball player he is right there. That's a big boy move right there, Marcus. You saw he went with a pump fake, hesitation move, let the defender get off his feet, and then he leaned into him and shot it.
I personally thought that offensive foul that they called on him was a little bit of a grown man move. I think they just called how it looked versus what it actually was. And savvy play by JD is he kind of made that last play kind of saying, okay, if you called that last foul against me, you kind of got to give me this one. I'm going to force you to look away and not give me this one, as he was able to get that call right there in front of the official.
Oh, turnover. We'll go back the other way. Isaiah pushing it up. Isaiah wanted it back. He wasn't going to get it. He wasn't going to get it back. But you know what? You have the flashy players from Newton, all these high risers. Everybody can touch the top of the backboard. Especially Isaiah Miller.
Yeah.
But I really like JD's game. I like Note's game. He plays a control game. He can shoot from the outside. Doesn't necessarily play over the rim. but he can't get there.
And they're not one of those teams to where they're above the rim players to where it's like, it's either a dunk or bust, to where you take away the highlight plays and they're going to be in a tough position. They're a well-coached squad. Everybody eats. They move the ball around. It doesn't really stick. So it's not like it's dunks or nothing for these guys. They can win the gritty game if need be. It just so happens they don't have to have a lot of gritty games with the way that they wear and tear on teams over the course of 4 quarters.
Exactly. All right, we got a timeout. Timeout on the court. I think he called a 30-second timeout. Quick one.
So let's go ahead and keep it here, man. I'm kind of anxious. We got a great game going on here. I'm kind of anxious to see what the score is over in Atlanta. They're at the Tournament of Champions Classic. I feel like Newton has played in a very good Shark Tank to prepare them for any out-of-state competition that they find over the course of this season.
Yeah, that's one thing about Newton. They're playing in Georgia. Georgia has surprisingly become one of the hottest hotbeds of basketball talent in the nation. They started off the year with 4 top 10 or top 25 ranked teams in the nation. And then the sad thing about it is some of them fell out of the top 25 because they had to play each other.
Yeah.
They played each other in the first week of the season. Oh, call the cops.
And you're looking at a Newton team that at the end of the day, they've just disposed of over what's ever been put in front of them, competition-wise.
And that's the sad thing. Newton is a great team, and they're not even expected to win the state championship. Nobody's predicting them to win the state championship. The run-out, 2-hand dunk. As talented as this Newton team is, they can go probably anywhere in the nation and compete and be in the Final Four. But they're still ranked 3rd or maybe 4th in the state of Georgia, depending on who you ask.
Yeah. Look at some of their wins. It was preseason, but they got a victory there in the preseason over a McEachern squad that has continued to turn heads. They defeated Jefferson out of New York back in Atlanta. That archive is available on demand, and McEachern is actually up 4 over Oak Ridge, a good team out of Florida right now. But Newton beat those guys there in the preseason. It's a preseason game, but it's still a pretty good litmus test as far as sizing up the personnel on both sides. They got that win early on, did Newton. Also, they beat Henry County, Southwest Atlanta Christian, and a Liberty County team that had 2 guys that had dropped 50. I think the game prior to that matchup.
Before.
Yeah.
And talking about scores, they beat the Southwest Christian team with DeAndre Ball off the backboard. Oh, and he throws it down 2 hands. Oh!
You gotta love it when a player like Isaiah Miller makes you look good. When you come in town saying, hey, you might want to look out for this kid. He can fly. He can jump a lot higher than the airport test might lead you to believe.
Look at this, off the backboard. A little bit of showtime.
Isaiah Miller saying, hey, I heard they've sold this thing out. No disrespect to Zion Williamson, but I'm not too shabby of a leaper in my own right.
And here's the thing, everybody from the Newton team is looking up at the scoreboard to see the replay. Everybody, coaches in there trying to talk, and everybody's looking up at the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess they say, man, with this on-site experience here at Dorman Arena, why should the spectators be the only ones to take a look at our plays on the Jumbotron? We got a second. I'll take an extra look.
Man, that is awesome. To play in a facility like this when you're still in high school, most teams, you don't get to make it to an arena like this until you make it to the state championship. When you're playing at, the arenas, in South Carolina, they play at the Colonial Center, and Georgia, well, they're going to move. They're not going to play at Macon anymore. Where are they playing? You know where they're playing at this year?
They're splitting it up. I know some of the divisions will be at Buford, the new gymnasium out there at Buford High School.
Okay.
And I think some will be at University of Georgia. They're in Athens, so I think they're splitting it up. But
I don't too much care for that. What do you have nice ball control to lay it in. You know, what do you have one of those South Georgia teams that make it to the championship? Wouldn't want to go all the way to Athens.
Well, I guess they say we've been going to Macon for the past few years, so as long as they can get reliable Wi-Fi and the rims are the appropriate distance from each other, I think they're not really as focused on the location. We say that tongue-in-cheek. There was a discrepancy at the site for the Georgia State Championships last year. One of the rims was inappropriately placed, and it was longer than it needed to be in terms of distance from the other rim. They didn't realize it until a week after state.
And you know, that's the funny thing about it. They didn't admit it until a week after state.
There you go. That's the operative phrase, Sly. They didn't admit it until a week after, but they actually realized it before play tips off.
Mm-hmm. They realized it, I think, during the 1A game, one of the first games that were played. They realized the rims were wrong, so they said, hey, we're just going to leave it like that and just go with it. Both teams have to play on the bad rims. That caused quite an uproar in the state of Georgia. To say the people, the fans in the state of Georgia were just a little bit upset may be an understatement.
They were. No reason for Newton fans to be upset in this one. Is a 16-point lead, and I don't really think Newton has really taken off yet, but I give credit to Boiling Springs. We mentioned Liberty County and how Davion Mitchell and Will Richardson had just, combined for practically 100 points prior to facing Newton. They beat those guys in a lopsided victory early on. So, Boiling Springs is making sure Newton doesn't pull away and that it doesn't get too ugly too early.
And that's one thing, Boiling Springs is a tough team. Bunch of scrappers down there. One thing I like Chance Guest. Chance Guest has been active. Number 31, he's been active over the boards. He's been scoring inside points.
These guys are down 14. You're a couple threes away from it getting more interesting. And Note says, hold that thought.
Says, take those couple of threes with this right here. JD Note.
You hear people say that Jacksonville got a steal. Not to be redundant, but you can't echo that sentiment enough for what Note brings to the table.
Seth Hewitt scores 2. Oh, that was a silly foul by Miller. 17.3 seconds to go in the half.
Number 5, Isaiah Miller, second. 16 foul. Getting 8 for Newton, number 3, Jonah Rogers. And number 12, Dante Johnson.
Good thing about playing on a team like Newton, when you get the games that kind of run out like this, everybody gets to play.
Yeah.
So for some of the youngsters coming in the game, getting a chance to get some meaningful playing time, 2 seconds, 1 second. Off the glass, count it. Seth Hewitt for 2.
Nice little momentum play to go into the locker room at halftime. And again, the name of the game is if you could have gotten off to a better start, had a lead, great. But the thing about it is you took a couple flurries from Newton. You go in at halftime down 13. I say the glass is still half full for Boiling Springs.
Exactly. Here we are. Well, we're at the half. The score, 47-34 at the half here at the FBI Classic. And we're back live here at the FBI Classic, Dorman Arena. Sylvester Williams joined by Marcus Burnett here on the SUVtv network. We're at the Farm Bureau Classic, Farm Bureau Insurance Classic. Right now we have Newton taking on Boiling Springs, and Newton is up. Newton is up at the half, 34-47, 47-34. Newton on top of Boiling Springs. And you got a healthy dosage of J.D. Note. 20 points in the first half.
And you knew he had a good first half, but that was I can't call it a quiet 20. I just didn't know he had that many points. Knew he was in double figures for sure.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. It wasn't like a spectacular 20, but it was 20.
Yep.
Like every time you turned around, he was scoring. Oh, good steal by Boiling Springs. They'll get it in the open court to DeSoar. Oh, get that out of here, Tukes. No, Tukes, they're going to call a foul on Tukes. Tukes is the force in the middle. For Josh Tukes, he's the force in the middle for Newton. Everybody on the Newton team shoots from the outside, but Tukes does his work down low on the block. And they're going to expect a lot out of the big man once they reach that playoff run.
I got to give Boiling Springs credit. Talked about it going into the locker room at halftime, that three that they were able to hit off the window. I would put them to within a manageable 14, and here they are. Under single digits in terms of or back to single digits in terms of the deficit.
And this is a young Boiling Springs team. They only have 2 seniors on the team. Boiling Springs only has 2 seniors. That's Mikal Coleman and Phillip Starnes, number 4 and number 20. They're only 2 seniors.
And I think some dynamics you're seeing at play here today is, I won't say Newton is taking Boiling Springs lightly because, they're prepared better than that, but also I'm not trying to undermine what Boiling Springs is doing. But it still doesn't seem like the same level of intensity that Newton normally brings. It's definitely not what we saw against Liberty County, a game where I think that they were a little bit more up for. So I think for Newton, they're going to have to take it up to another level and give Boiling Springs credit for coming out here and playing to a certain point to say, look, you guys aren't going to be able to get this game out of reach just on your laurels. We're going to force you guys to pull away.
Oh, Tuke says get that out of here. Tuke is a surprisingly good shot blocker. They have the young man listed at 6'6". Foul, and Isaiah Miller, he'll go to the line and shoot another 2. But they have Tukes listed at 6'6". He may be 6'6" with the high top fade. But he's a long kid, and he just blocks shots. He blocks shots and he rebounds. The young man knows his job.
Block shots, rebounds, lets the guards eat, and then eats off the opportunities they create for him.
Isaiah Miller back on the line. One more time. Bam, knocks it down. They'll stay in that 2-2-1 press. Boiling Spring breaks it easy. Oh, never mind. Press leading the bad passes. That's the mark of a good press. Oh, nice steal by Chance. Way to find DeSoar in the open court. Oh! And it goes in and out. Kamal DeSoar. Ooh. J.D. Note picks up where he left off. Kamal DeSoar wanted to give the people something to stand up with. Young man, 6'3". He's a transfer from Dorman, only in the 10th grade. Chance guess. Oh, it doesn't get it to roll. He'll get his own rebound, put it back up, and he'll get the friendly roll. Send it back over to JD. JD, jumper at the free throw line, backboard. I'm not sure we're going to count that one. He has to call that one out. You got to call backboard to get it. Moving it around. Desor in the corner. And we'll get a foul in the front court from Jones.
Foul on number 15, Garvin Jones for leading his first. 17 foul. In game number 12, Dante Johnson for the number 4, goalie, kickoff. Number 4, Miguel Colton from Williamsburg.
Three ball from long range, no good. Rebound brought down by Ashton. Ashton pushing it up court. He'll kick it over to JD. JD, no good, corner the rim. Isaiah Miller will get it. JD a follow, lay it in. Boiling Springs are working on around. Haggins will get it and he'll pull it back out. Haggins for two. Or Haggins. Hey, want to give a shout out to Atlanta Select Black. Atlanta Select Black, they tweeted me out. They let me know that the GHSA finals will be held at UGA and Georgia Tech. The state championships will be held at UGA and Georgia Tech.
I don't know, man. I thought I had just read an article saying that Buford was going to replace Georgia Tech.
Okay.
I want to say I read that article today, but I could be wrong.
Well, we'll take that up with Atlanta Select Black.
I tell you what, I hope they are right because I always like a trip to McCamish Pavilion.
Oh, yes, I like a trip down to the place formerly known as the Thriller Dome. A place that replaced the Thriller Dome. Hadn't been much thrills going on down at the Thriller Dome recently.
Hey, man, it's tough, man. Josh Pastner out and about in the Atlanta community, but it's just a tough place, man.
He can be out and about, but he needs to be out and about signing somebody.
that conference that they compete in, you look at the academic requirements, Tech.
I don't know, man. I'm not one to quite believe that the academic requirements are what's holding Georgia Tech back, because if you're any good, you're only going to be there for a year anyway. So it really doesn't matter. And all you need to do is pass the first half of your freshman year.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal. I just think it's a small factor. But you never know, man, as far as the one and done. If you're that good, you're only there for 1 year. I say Dame Lillard kind of defies that kind of. He needed all of those years at Weber State or C.J. McCollum. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of guys. But I still get what you're saying. The one and dones are the one and dones. But these days, it's more about the one and dones than the guys that, you look forward to seeing them play in college for 3-4 years, those kind of rivalries. Now you're just setting yourself up for the okie doke if you're expecting that now.
Exactly.
And I can respect it. I mean, that NBA contract's on the table.
Hey, you will never hear Sylvester Williams say, "Don't go and get your money."
No, not at all.
You will never hear that. But I do kind of wish college was set up, basketball was set up like baseball. With baseball, if you decide you want to go pro, you can go pro straight out of high school. Nobody won't stop you. Nobody won't say anything. But if you go to college, you got to stay for 2 years. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. But, hey, I'm never going to tell you not to go and get your money.
Yeah.
Go and get it.
Well, I mean, we've taken time to give Boiling Springs credit, and not trying to beat a dead horse here, but I think they played a hard game. I think they played a valiant game. But you haven't seen Newton really rolling on all cylinders. Some of that is due to Boiling Springs defense. Some of it is just Newton trying to get loose, but they're still up 19. Even though they're not, I would probably say with the Newton that we've been able to see, they're probably clicking at about 75 to 80% right now. And I think the 80 is a little high. I think they're at about 75% right now, and they're still up 19.
I'm pretty sure Coach Rick, he's going to go in at the end of the day. They're going to get back to that hotel, and he's going to have a long conversation with his boys. He's like, hey, you won. I just really didn't win it. You know, that's not going to win you a championship.
The good coaches, the good programs, they're more focused on, okay, even if the opponent might not be as ballyhooed as some of the other ones that Newton has faced, you got to be able to, go about your business and not fall into any trap game scenarios. So, it's always a teaching lesson when it comes to that, man.
And one thing about this Boiling Springs team, they're young. They're a really, really young team. Like I said, they only have 2 seniors. 21 puts that back on Marty Harris. He puts that back for the 2, but Boiling Springs is young. They only have 2 seniors. And with a young squad like this is a learning lesson.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that 20-point learning lesson to get you ready. It's either going to make you or it's going to break you. And you'll find out a lot about this Boiling Springs team in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, game's out of line. What do? Do you pack it in and do you go home and you turn a 20-point game into a 40-point game? Or do you sit up here and you try to break it down to a 10-point game? You'll find out a lot about this team.
It's my first time seeing them play, but if their play up to this point is any indication, they're going to play hard until there are 3 zeros on the clock. And you mentioned the youth. The skill and some of the seasoning that comes with time is nothing you can do to rush that. That's just going to come. But as far as playing hard and showing some of what we've seen them show, you can't really teach or coach that. That's just there. And they represented well as far as that's concerned.
Oh, yeah. All right, Sark misses the second one.
We've seen teams with more elder statesmen on the squad, and this Newton Ram show has got to rolling, and it's gotten kind of bleak, early on. I keep mentioning that Liberty County game because, Davion Mitchell, I think he was a little under the weather that game, but a pedestrian performance because Newton just got up early, and it was just like Mortal Kombat finish him mode from there.
Oh, nice ball handling by Guess. Not to be outdone, but I like Chance Guess. What do we have Chance Guess at? I think I may have gave a point to him to someone else. Right now I have him at 14 points. Yep, I have him at 14 points. Free throw, no good.
Got more action coming up after this one as I believe the 5:30 p.m. game here at the FBI Classic. That one will be Lansdowne out of Virginia taking on Burns, the Rebels.
Burns, the running Rebels, out of Duncan, South Carolina.
That's 5:30. At 7 p.m., it's Keenan versus Dorman.
Just talking about Keenan a little earlier.
So that's a little upstate versus Sumter and Columbia, not really referred to as low country. So what's their regional
Sumter
moniker?
and Columbia are the Midlands.
The Midlands.
Midland area.
A Midland upstate matchup. Dorman are here in the upstate area, and Keenan, they're out of the Midlands.
City folk versus the farm folk. That's what the USC and Clemson people will say.
Yeah, that's funny right there for Columbia or the Sumter area to be referring to somebody as city folk or be referring to themselves as city folk.
The big city of Columbia. My hometown, baby.
And then the nightcap here at the FBI Classic at 8:30. That'll be Pelham. Alex Reese, the Alabama signee. Justin Allison, another good guard for Pelham. They'll take on Zion Williamson, a.k.a. the walking highlight reel, and Spartanburg Day.
Charge. It'll go back the other way. And I don't know if you've heard the announcer doing the game. He's been saying the whole time, he says, there will be no re-entry. The fire marshal has said it is one man in, one man out, one man in.
AKA that run that you have to make sure it is something important, because if you make it, you will have to watch the rest of the game on SUVtv.
They have already sold out of the tickets for tonight's game. They are not selling any more tickets. Rebound. Newton will push it up court. Poked out from behind. Higgins will set it up. Higgins step it over. No good. Rebound brought down by DeSore. Nice lay in. Pierre Gentry for two. Three ball in the corner, splash.
Splash is right. There was some contact on the release. That could have easily been a 4-point play.
Dante Johnson knocks it down for three. And here we are. We're at the end of the third quarter. The score, 46-69, 46-69. Newton on top of Boiling Springs.
The 2016 Farm Bureau Insurance Classic broadcast are brought to you by CBA Sports, Founders Federal Credit Union, Farm Bureau Insurance, RSM Promotions, and FCA Camps.
The Atlanta Hawks Basketball Academy is camps, clinics, leagues, coaches' education, and tournaments.
I've learned to boost my confidence up.
From the dribbling to the shooting to the passing, it's just a great, great camp.
They get a chance to meet former and current Hawk players.
We're building kids on the court and off the court. It's about character and being a good basketball player.
I would say you need to come out here. It's so fun out here.
All right, we're back here live. We're live at Dorman Arena here at the FBI Classic. That's the Farm Bureau Insurance Classic. Newton's on top 69-46 on top of Boiling Springs.
Coach Raz knows his personnel, knows his squad, but between Higgins, Note, and Miller, one, possibly even two of those three are sitting with me for a good portion of this fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So go ahead, fellas. You gather up the electrolytes, get nice and hydrated, but
yeah, game like this, fellas, go ahead and put the warm-ups on. Put the warm-ups on and take a break.
we mentioned our upcoming schedule here as far as the FBI Classic for tonight is concerned. But we've also got a few more games from the Tournament of Champions Classic there in the Atlanta area at 5:15 p.m. Westside Macon. Kavon Moore, one of the better guards in the country. He'll face off against one another top-tier guard in Javonte Smart for Scotlandville Magnet. They're out of Louisiana. That's at 5:15 p.m. here on SUVtv. Then at 7 p.m., you've got Lincoln out of New York versus Whitfield Academy. And he got game fans out there.
Say the Lincoln Rail Splitters. Were they a real team? I didn't know that was a real school. And I remember the name, the Lincoln Rail Splitters.
Yeah, I feel like with it being right there in New York in that movie, you had to use a real team. It wouldn't have been the same if you didn't use a real team. Former alma mater of Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Shuttlesworth.
But yeah, they'll take on Whitfield Academy, who upset Velma Jackson. Isaiah Hart, he went off in that game. I believe he finished with 33. But they'll have the work cut out for them tonight as they'll take on Lincoln. And then last but not least, Wheeler versus Miller Grove. You got to have a championship ring to even get in the door at that one.
Not a championship ring. You need about 3 before you can even walk in the door.
Yeah, you need the plural form. Those outside of the state of Georgia, Miller Grove has won 7 out of the last 8 state championships there in Georgia. Wheeler won one a couple years ago there, Jalen Brown's senior year. That's just one of a handful there by head coach Doug Lipscomb. But that'll tip off at 8:45 p.m. Eastern.
And it's funny you mentioned Coach Doug Lipscomb. Where are they playing at?
They are playing at Douglas Lipscomb Gymnasium there at Wheeler High School. So
you're pretty good when they name the gym after you.
Yeah, kind of a big deal.
At Wheeler program, something special over there. As a matter of fact, they had a clean sweep in the Chick-fil-A Classic last week. They had a slam dunk contest, 3-point contest, player of the tournament, and the tournament MVP. And they also won the tournament.
Yeah, they did everything but take the tournament director naming rights.
I'm telling you.
And that's a program that a lot of people having eyes on. Terry Armstrong, he ended up going back up north to Michigan, but they were, in some circles, the number 1 team on paper before the season started. They dropped an early game to Vashon out of the St. Louis area, and they were a lightning rod as a result. Had a big target on their backs and had some early season losses, but they've had a tough schedule as well. They'll get another chance to prove themselves tonight.
It's funny. We talked a little bit earlier about that the Georgia programs just eating off of each other. Wheeler lost a big one early to Vashon, but they're Alabama program, St. Louis program, but they came back and played the number 9 team in the nation, Green Forest, and beat them.
Right.
And Green Forest is right there in Decatur, where it's greater. J.D. Notte just continues to score.
Rebounds very well from the guard position, and really he and Miller, that's not an exhaustive list. Overall, Newton does a great job rebounding by committee, but when your guards can rebound the ball like they do, it's part of what fuels that up and down offense they have.
And see, that's what makes Newton such an interesting team to me, because eventually if they want to say they're state champion, they're going to have to play Wheeler, Norcross, or Westlake. They're going to have to play one of those, or even Pebblebrook. They got to play Pebblebrook. They got to play one of those squads that were ranked in the top 25 in the nation in order to win the state championship. And they don't have the inside presence that any of those squads have. Maybe a Pebblebrook. They may be able to match up on the inside with Pebblebrook, but that's about it. So you want to see what these guards do against Wheeler.
Yeah, it could be some intriguing matchups because when you look at Newton as a unit, they play a little bit larger, than their listing in the roster book or what the what the eye test might show you. Even when you look at them beating McEachern, yes, it was a preseason game, but McEachern isn't a small squad. Babatunde Akambola, big inside, Isaac Okoro, about 6'5", 6'6", plays even larger. You got the small point guard there in Sharif Cooper, but plenty of length there for that McEachern squad. So I think it's very intriguing to look at Newton matching up against some teams. I think with Pebblebrook, they can contend with those guys inside. I even think of Norcross, who is a longer team, but I see Newton having the tools to be a very tough opponent for Rayshawn Hammonds and Lance Thomas inside.
It will be very, very interesting 7A ball in the state of Georgia. As a matter of fact, we'll bring you a matchup. We're going to bring the Pebblebrook and
Pebblebrook versus Norcross. That's tomorrow on SUVtv at 9:15 p.m. I would say get your popcorn ready, but it deserves more of a full feast. Popcorn isn't enough. You need something with true grease on it.
I'm telling you.
Silky jumper there for Newton. That was number 12, Dante Johnson. Johnson feeling it. Maybe a little bit of a broadcaster's jinx there. He had splashed that one in. Clapped his hands a few times telling Higgins to get it over to him.
Chance Guest not stepping down from the challenge. He's still shooting. That's just strength right there by the young man. And you know, one thing I like about Isaiah Miller has he's a small frame guy. You know, he's not a big muscular kid, but he's really strong. And I mean, he's strong in the upper body. He's strong in the legs. He can jump over just about anybody out here. He's deceptively strong.
Yeah. My first time seeing Miller play was at Sean Williams on the Radar Hoops. There at one of his, I believe it was his fall showcase, and it was just ridiculous. He had brought us there to broadcast, and then he also had us do a top 5 plays from the event. And I went over and had to be honest. I said, I'm sure you probably want us to spread the wealth a little bit. We're probably going to have to give Isaiah Miller 5 plays and just make that one of the top 5, because he could easily take the top 5 with no problem presenting sponsorship.
Oh, got him with the travel. Higgins has played a quiet game, Austin Higgins. Austin Higgins, he's the baby-faced youngster out of the bunch. 6'4", sophomore, another walking highlight film. And I said he's played a quiet game, but he has 12. You know, from the usual 20 that he'll give you a night, he has 12. So that's a quiet game for Higgins.
Yep, and it's all relative, because when you look at the type of player he is, has a great feel for the game in terms of getting his teammates involved, not really forcing it, letting the game come to him. And he's done a great job of finding that balance, because one of his strengths is being able to get it and get from point A to point B. He gets downhill and is very strong. But he's found that medium between knowing when to be assertive, when to attack, but also making sure the other resources that he has at his disposal are well fed.
Oh, good block.
And in this game, like we said, Slide, in terms of the level that we saw Newton play at, he really just took it easy this game, enough to get the win.
Dante Johnson, 6'4" senior out there. He wants to go and get his a little bit.
Yeah, Johnson says, Ashton kind of took it easy on you guys. Not to the point where he dogged it, but I'm just saying he, got others involved. They made it happen. Johnson says, man, I'm here to get it.
Best way to get yours is to get yours from the free throw line. Speaking of getting yours from the free throw line, you can go and watch that TOC Classic, Tournament of Champions Classic, and watch the replay of Pebblebrook taking on John Marshall. Watch some kid by the name of Colin Sexton went 16 for 20 from the free throw line.
And not only one of the best scorers in the country, one of the best at getting to that aforementioned free throw line. Man, he gets there with no problem.
I never seen anything like that. A kid who just gets to the line, gets to the line, gets to the line. Strong lay-in by Guest, no good.
I tell you what, you mentioned Sexton, man. That Pebblebrook Norcross matchup tomorrow. I know it's a day away, but anybody that knows anything about those two programs, you should be able to understand my excitement because Sexton is he can get you 25 in his sleep, but Norcross defensively has been one of the more impressive defensive teams and programs in the Atlanta area for years. I put them right behind Miller Grove in terms of team defense year in, year out, regardless of personnel. So something's got to give. You know, Sexton's going to come in on a mission, but I don't see the Norcross guards going like that. So that's going to make for a very fun contest there in the Fab Four bracket at the Tournament of Champions Classic.
You know, and one thing I like to say, when I talk about players, I like a player that has that dog in them. You know, a lot of people don't understand what that dog is. If you have no idea what that dog is,
you don't have it.
You don't have it. Exactly. You don't have it. If you don't know when I say have that dog in you and you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you don't have it. But if you want a crash course on it, I suggest you go to SUVtv and go and look at a few Pebblebrook games and look at Colin Sexton. One thing I like about the kid, he loves to play in the big games. He likes to mug for the camera a little bit. Just a little bit.
So the Rams up 20 under 2 minutes. We've just sort of been in no man's land with this game. Newton not really pushing it to a 30 ball per se, but in full control of this one.
Jim is filling up.
I've been trying to figure out an alias for Newton. You know, I went to college in St. Louis, and that was right around the heyday of the Rams, back when Kurt and those guys, and Holt and Isaac Bruce, back when they were the greatest show on turf. Been trying to figure out an alias for these Newton Rams. They're not on turf, but they are a fun show to watch with the way that they've started this season and the pieces that they have. I just got to come up with the right moniker for them, man. I don't have the right nickname just yet.
I don't know.
I thought about greatest show on the court.
Definitely the fastest show on the court. And get out there and run with the best of them. He's shooting two. Seth Hewitt on the. Seth will come up short on both of them. Getting those last bit of substitutions in. Everybody gets a chance to play. Hey, Coach, what about me? I hadn't got in yet.
Yeah, I was going to try to get a shot, but I'm sure Coach Rass would say, look, not only are you ineligible, but all of my guards can dunk. So all of my guards dunk, man, so I'm good.
I get out there and I'll dunk for you. I'll throw it down.
Take a look at a couple of the pass plays there.
Everybody launching from down deep, three-point land.
You look at the potential matchups. Newton will play. Should we look at the bracket implications moving forward?
They'll play Gaston Day. That'll be a good one.
It will be. Nate Hinton, McClooney, Hamilton. Oh, Note, Miller, and Higgins. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That one will be at what time tomorrow, Sly?
5:30 p.m., 5:30 p.m. Just stick with us. We'll be here all day. We'll be broadcasting all day.
We'll be here all week. I've gotten used to Papa's Breakfast Nook just up the street. By the time we wrap up here, the only thing in the city, it seems like, is 1.5 gas stations and Papa's Breakfast Nook not too far from the Host Hotel there at the downtown Marriott.
Also, the Beacons out here somewhere. The Beacons in Spartanburg. That was one of the restaurants the beacon they're talking about. Historic landmark here in Spartanburg.
Foul on number 10, and Broadnax is second. On the line from Rolling Springs, number 13, JB Kennedy.
13 on the line. JB Kennedy. JB knocks it down. Nice move.
Who was that? That was Eric Broadnax. That last one for Newton.
Chance gets. Chance playing a pretty impressive ball game. Armani Harris scores the final basket. And that'll be it. 85-64 Newton on top of Bowling Springs here at the FBI Classic. I'm Sylvester Williams. He's Marcus Burnett, and we're on the SUVtv network. We'll see you back here for some more exciting basketball action.